Another supporter is, of course, the Patriotic Alliance, and Kenny Kunene was there earlier when all of that unfolded. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So, of course, Nhlanhla Lux is still behind bars. Those supporters, including yourself, I'm guessing, were hoping he would be released today, given the offence he's actually accused of committing. But just tell me your position on this as the Patriotic Alliance.
Obviously, we are patriots, and we have been involved in the campaign that has got to do with illegal immigrants. And Ntlantla Lux is part of Dudula, which also advocates for the same campaign. And therefore, we felt that we had to support him. Because you see, his arrest, the way it happened, says that there is a political motive or there are certain people behind his arrest. We know that the EFF actually opened the case against him, which is really unheard of. And therefore, we felt that we needed to help him. In Martin Niemöller's words, in Germany during the Nazi period, he said, when the Nazis came for the Protestants, I did not fight for them because I was not a Protestant. When they went for the Unionists, I didn't do anything because I was not a Unionist. When they went for the Catholics, I still did nothing because I was not a Catholic. When they came for me, there was no one left to be there for me. So in that context, we are saying if they can go for Nhlanhla Lux on these charges where he went to a house accompanied by police officers, where he didn't go and break into somebody's house.
But that's questionable, though, because there are reports that police were not there.
The police were there. If you follow most of the Put South Africa First and Dudula operations, police are always invited to accompany them, especially when we go to shops. Patriotic Alliance, when we do those operations, we invite the police, local police, to accompany us. So this was not done out of lawlessness. And we invite police precisely so that we are not seen to be vigilantes. So Ntlantla Lux, his arrest should have been accompanied by the arrest of the police officers who were with him.
Well, the problem and the dispute is that the police officers did not want to go into this particular person's house. They might have been around for the operation, but they themselves did not want to enter the property with Operation Dudula members. So, that's the difference, and that's where the line is, I'm guessing, which is what the EFF and this person is arguing. I mean, remember, it's not just the EFF that opened the case. It was the person whose house was actually entered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the allegations that the community have put forward to Dudula is that the person is a drug dealer. And that is why the police were invited to accompany Dudula leaders to that house. So for EFF to then jump in, obviously one would know that the EFF would not take such an action of opening a case against somebody as high profile as Ntlantla Lux without Julius Malema giving such a directive. So it shows that there's a political game being played here because this young man is an activist and he has been very much consistent and he has done a lot, even in Soweto, fighting not just against illegal immigrants. He has helped the people of Soweto to get electricity back. He has been involved in many activisms. He has protected Maponya Mall during the looting. The same thing that Patriotic Alliance did in all the areas where they have councillors and leaders. We protected all those malls. So we are aligned with Ntlantla Lux in terms of how we should serve our communities. And if you look at his arrest, Shan, this man was arrested by an army of 30 vehicles, 30 police vehicles, all of them armed with rifles, at Kaya FM studios, at a radio station. Now you need to then say, but why? When Malema is to be arrested after threatening the lives of farmers, of white people in this country, police give him a call to hand himself over at the police station. Many ANC politicians, when they have done corruption, or there's allegations of corruption and they must be arrested, they are given calls to go hand themselves at the police station. High-profile business people, when they are supposed to be arrested, they are given calls to hand themselves over. Why Nhlanhla Lux, being a South African and a patriot, why should he be arrested as if he has committed a heist? Why should he be arrested as if he's a criminal or he's a drug dealer? So it shows that there are people behind his arrest. And let me tell you why Nhlanhla Lux was arrested on a Thursday. Precisely to keep him for the whole weekend, so that he does not go to Durban to go and launch Operation Dudula in KZN, which is happening tomorrow. And I'm saying this on authority. I have been part of the negotiations with the lawyers and the police at the police stations. I've been part of those meetings from morning till I left at around 5 o'clock. And all of a sudden, there were no charges. Until 2 o'clock, Nhlanhla Lux was not charged. By the way, around 3 o'clock, that is the time when they were taking his fingerprints. They were still arguing about what charge should they have on him. So, and the investigating officer came, he charged him, but the docket is not even finalized. Now they talk about Nhlanhla Lux must go for a parade tomorrow morning. A man that is on TV, a man that went to a man's house, must now go for a parade. So they are just trying to make sure that they keep him over this weekend so that he cannot launch Operation Dudula in Durban. Yeah. Unfortunately for them, the people in Durban, it can fail tomorrow. But next week when he's released, or any other time, he will be traveling to Durban to go and address those masses. We are patriots. We cannot be prevented from doing our patriotic duty and saying people are illegal in this country.
Yeah.
If you cannot understand that wording, illegal, then there's something definitely wrong with you, especially if you are a politician. Illegal immigrants must go.
Just tell me, I'll talk about the movement in a bit, right? But I want to talk about the arrest and the fact that you are so adamant that it's politically motivated. And whether you think the EFF actually has so much clout to get 30 police vehicles to go to somebody and get them arrested.
I didn't
also
say...
saying it's the ANC as well.
I didn't say it's the EFF. But quite frankly, I know that Malema has got very good relationships with people at high levels at the ANC. Ask yourself, the VBS case, there are affidavits. The investigating officer has been dealing with this case. Why is Julius not being arrested? When there's evidence, affidavits, from people who say, yes, Julius bought with this card. From people who say, yes, Julius sent me there. There are those affidavits. Money is easy to trace. Why is he not being arrested? Ask yourself that, and you will get the answer that he gets favor with people at the highest level.
Yeah.
He says Nhlanhla Lux must be arrested. Nhlanhla Lux gets arrested. And his arrest is so dramatized. A young man who is not a threat to even a single police officer coming to see him. He goes to the police station and asks police, accompany me to go and do my patriotic duty. When they arrest him, they do a show with rifles. And one of the police officers there actually told the guys accompanying Nhlanhla Lux, if you take one more step, I'm going to shoot you. And the guy took one more step because he had to move. Other people are coming from behind. And the officer cocked the rifle. So it is intimidation. Yeah. It is apartheid police force tactics to intimidate this young man. Unfortunately, I was blessed. Fortunately, I was blessed to spend the day with him. He is in high spirits. He's not intimidated. He is prepared for this war.
What's his message to his supporters? Because we saw some of them clash with police today. And you know, he's preached this message of non-violence as part of this movement. So what would he say to them tonight?
I actually delivered the message from him to the supporters in the morning, which was that his incarceration must not stop the operations of Dudula. It must not stop the programs that they have planned. to undertake. They must be in high spirits. They must not mourn for him. He is not dead. He is just in prison, and he will come out. And they must not be intimidated. They must keep on soldiering on. That was his message. However, in the afternoon, after we met with the police for the last time, after 10 prosecutors refused to handle his matter for a bail application, 10 prosecutors refused. He said, let them go home. They can come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock because the parade will happen at 10 o'clock. We will be there tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We have informed the investigating officer that we will come back tomorrow at 10. And I think the message of non-violence is what he preached, and he asked us to ask them to disperse. However, one would also understand their frustrations when we informed them that he won't be released today, because they said what I said earlier. Why is it that politicians get invited to come and hand themselves over, yet Nhlanhla Lux is being arrested like he's a criminal?
And are you considering actually going to the Independent Police Investigative Directorate to look into how this was handled?
Look, those processes, they take long. You'll never know what will happen. I think it will be his prerogative to then take that decision. But I can tell you now, some of the members were saying that he needs to open a case against Julius Malema and the supporter that threatened him. But he said he doesn't want to waste time on such things. What is done is done. We must not be defocused on the patriotic duty that we are doing. And as patriots, we will continue to do that. So he's determined. So I don't think he'll even go that route. But there's a lady that was beaten by the police. The lady has opened a case. It was unnecessary for the police to beat the lady, to beat up the lady. A case has been opened. The lady opened the case. But I must commend the police station, the acting station commander. They worked well with us from morning. They allowed us to gather there. They allowed us to sing. And they allowed us to make those interventions to try and make sure that we negotiate his exit. And I think we really dealt with sober police officers throughout the day, I must say.
Yeah. Let's talk about the movement now.
Yes.
And how many people see this unfold. You know, the fact that you're calling for illegal foreigners to be removed, for South Africans to get that job, totally understandable. We were discussing this in our newsroom today. It's absolutely understandable. But when you go into somebody's home based on accusations that you can't actually say are true or not, and ransack their property and ultimately invade their privacy, is there not a fine line that's being crossed through this movement and how you're doing things? And I know that you're not Operation Dudula, by the way.
Yes.
You're Patriotic Alliance.
Yes.
But you're aligned. You have
Yes.
the same thinking when it comes to this.
Yes. Look, where we come together with Dudula is on the illegal immigration issue. However, we have also been vocal against drug dealers. We have had our own operations on the issues of drug dealers. You must remember that Operation Dudula, led by Nhlanhla Lux, did a search at some point in Soweto, and they found syringes and drugs in the possession of someone. Communities are really getting tired. Even the president himself said it on the 21st of this month in Koster, that communities must make sure that if they know who the criminals are, they must not do vigilantism, but they must be able to arrest these people and hand them over to the police. So if now Nhlanhla Lux is going to a home and saying, the community saying you are a drug dealer, here are the police, do your work, arrest this man. What is wrong with that? The president has called on him and all of us to get involved in the fight against crime. So what is wrong that he has done? He's done absolutely nothing wrong.
It has to be done within the confines of the law.
Accompanied by the police, yes.
That's being disputed.
In the confines of the law.
It is being disputed. I'm going to be hopefully speaking to the police minister after 7 o'clock.
And let me tell you something.
About that.
Let me tell you something. This case might even be withdrawn because there's no case. Because you are talking about what you are hearing. We are talking about the people that were there, who know what they were doing. No, now, if you go and arrest a man with an army, you charge him immediately when he gets to the police station. They have a difficulty. First, he was going to be charged for assault. And I'm telling you what happened this morning. He was going to be charged for assault. Then it was going to be housebreaking. Then it was going to be damage to property. Then it was going to be intimidation. And it ended up with 2 charges when we left. We don't know what charges will be there tomorrow. But they didn't even know what is it that they had to charge him with. And our negotiations, by the way, I must mention that.
We're actually quite privileged to have negotiations, with somebody who's been taken into custody.
Yes.
Most people don't have that privilege.
But because there is an understanding that the way he was arrested, number one, his case number says Dobsonville. The crime intelligence people that came there say to him, you were arrested in Dobsonville. When he was arrested in Hyde Park, they didn't even know where he was arrested, crime intelligence. Number two, he is supposed to be at the Dobsonville police station, yet he is at Johannesburg Central police station. And the station commander is saying, guys, I have no control over this person because this person was not arrested by my officers. I must talk to the investigating officer to determine what should happen going forward. The investigating officer comes around lunchtime. We've been there since morning. So the police there had to at least use their brains also to say, let us allow these interventions so that the crowd can at least get feedback from its leaders. And our negotiations yielded results. We asked them that Nhlanhla Lux must not eat food at the police station because we suspect that he'll be poisoned. We have also asked that Nhlanhla Lux must be put in a cell alone because last night he slept with people that he does not know. And whilst we were there, and a foreigner, an illegal foreigner, was brought into his cell, only one police said, hey, take that guy out there. That's Nhlanhla Lux's cell. So, and we know what happens in police custodies. So we have requested, and there was an agreement that he will get his cell, and his mother will be the only one that buys food and delivers it to him at the police station. So it was not just negotiations about release, but also to make sure that we are proactive when it comes to his security.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.